Testity test 1 2. creation kit's taking has been taking a very long time to save lately, so hopefully it's not gonna take half an hour to save or something like that. I could look at some meshes that I need to work on. The question is if I have any meshes that I need to work on. I don't know if I do. I'm gonna look at the ideas list. See if there's anything I can work on in the meantime that doesn't require creation kit, like a texture or something. Oh, I'll fix the stream title. And I can't control, like, when the notification, I don't know anything about, I've sent a Twitter notification out, and also the last time I tried streaming it didn't work, so whatever, I think that's it. I'm waiting for a creation kit to save, and I'm looking at anything I can work on in the meantime. Uh-oh, I don't want to reveal too much. There's not much I can... 6.5 is getting so close to being finished that most of the stuff is creation kit work. I also have a new power supply, which I think may help with stream stability. My computer hasn't been, like, trying to overcool itself. I think there was something wrong with the power supply. And this stream has a green bar on it the whole time that I've been streaming the past 20 minutes. So hopefully that's a good sign. The dongos. That's something I would maybe have everything I need for the dongos. I also want to add the Majora's Mask script. I want to start doing that. That doesn't work. That's something I did do. I think I'm just gonna keep the Pheromoblins cut. Oops. Good, creation kit's done saving. Firefox has been obnoxious to me as well recently, especially scrolling through websites like The Awesomer. It's just been really sluggish. Yeah, there's gonna be so many Zelda items. And, I am, going to fiddle with the Shrine of Nehru, which is new to 6.5. Shrines of Din and Feror are accessible in the current version of the mod, but Nehru's Shrine is not accessible yet. So I'm fixing a wall in the Shrine of Nehru. It's this one. Oh yeah, that would be it, the one that says no snow, because the other ones have snow. Let's replace that. Hit wall 01. And hopefully that does its thing. So there's the Shrine of Nehru. I'm not going to tell you where it is, but this is what it looks like. It's all frozen, covered in ice. There's a chest of mysterious items. Shrine of Nehru is going to be pretty cool. And I'm going to I'm going to make Feror's Pearl. Oh wait, no, I need to finish, go back to Nehru. I'm going to finish the spell for Nehru's Pearl. And it's no longer this, it is Moon Pearl Nehru. Boop. And what Nehru's Pearl is going to do, I couldn't figure out what to make it do for a really long time. I wanted to add Nehru's Pearl, and I was like, what can it do? And my first thought was to have it be like a protection spell, but there's so many other protection spells I didn't want it to be. I wanted it to be unique, so I decided to make it remote access conjuring equipment, or crafting equipment. So there's you can remotely access a alchemy station, grindstone, chests. There's 3 chests, tanning rack, smelter, all of the crafting equipment. Nehru's Pearl is sort of an end game thing. You get it after you complete. You can access it after you complete the Ruptured Towers and retrieve Feror's Pearl. So it's after you finish the mod, basically, then you can get Nehru's Pearl. So it's not going to break the game because it's an end game thing. There's also the alteration table. I'm not going to make a remote access to the what's it called? The Ancient Enchanter or the Terminan Forge, because that's what Feror's Pearl is going to do. Feror's Pearl is going to allow you to access any Relics of Hyrule location. So you'll be able to teleport to the Terminan Forge on either Solstheim or Skyrim. Or any secret grotto, that sort of thing. So I'm going to work on the script for that. And once again, Feror's Pearl is only accessible after you complete the Ruptured Towers and Lost Sky Crater. so it's going to be a long process to get to it. Oh, new script. That's what I need to do. Screat. Hailstone Camp is in there, so I need to add I think the worst web browser I've ever used is not so much Internet Explorer, but Internet Explorer after it's been targeted by all sorts of like stupid programs that install things without asking you. And I'm sure I've used a terrible web browser back in the early Windows days, but Internet Explorer is definitely the one that comes to mind. Whoops. Spent all that time working on the east, and was actually putting them in the west. So that is not accurate. So then, west, we can talk about. Pharaoh's Pearl, all these locations, literally, if you look at this script, game.getPlayer.move to Termune Forge, there's your answer. The Pharaoh's Pearl is going to be able to warp you to any Relics of Hyrule location within Skyrim or Solstheim. So you'll use the spell, and it'll ask you where you want to go, and through a series of menus you can choose which Relics of Hyrule location you visit. And then the Pearl will warp you there without any fast travel nonsense. Oops, that's not what I meant. Save the script. Oh no, it failed. End if. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, it'll be instant in-game time, so it won't, pretty much, yeah, I mean, it'll be functionally identical to how the Song of Soaring worked in Majora's Mask. I didn't want to make the Song of Soaring do this because it changes how Skyrim is played, and that this is sort of a very late game item. So I didn't want that to be available yet. I am working on Relics of Hyrule 6.5. That's what I'm doing. I'm working on Pharaoh's Pearl, those of you who just joined us. And I'm trying to figure out where this mismatched end if is supposed to correspond to. If, else, if. Oh, I think this is it. This one needs an end if. It's going to be in Palestone. No, not Palestone Camp. Lost Sky Crater. So that area is only accessible once you complete the Ruptured Towers. So it's a very late game. I think the temple that I showed in the last update video was that was Rage. That's one of the new Ruptured Towers, which isn't related to Faror's Pearl. As for Nehru's Pearl is going to allow you to remotely access crafting equipment. So you'll be able to use Nehru's Pearl and just magically use an anvil out in the middle of nowhere. And that one won't be accessible until you find Faror's Pearl and do some stuff with that. So that's like very late game, because I don't want to allow people to just spawn crafting equipment wherever they want. It's not even spawning it, it's accessing it, using it. Oh, wait. Choice equals 2. Choice equals... Oh, wait. There's the problem. That's a problem. It's supposed to be choice 1 all the way down. No, so Nehru's Pearl is going to be crafting equipment. Faror's Pearl is going to be teleportation. Relic crafting stations will not be accessible using Nehru's Pearl. It'll only be Faror's Pearl that allowed you to access those. Nehru's Pearl will allow you to use the alteration table in field, but I didn't want people to be able to use the Terminian Forge wherever they wanted, or the the Ancient Enchanter wherever they wanted. But Faror's Pearl will allow you to warp those places without any trouble. And you can use it in tandem with Faror's Wind. So you could cast Faror's Wind, to mark a place, use Faror's Pearl to teleport to the Midden, to use the Ancient Enchanter, and then use Faror's Wind again to return to where you were. So you essentially get a second Faror's Wind with Faror's Pearl. And the hero's key will be needed to get both of these. I'm still looking for this missing end if. If choice 1. Good thing I caught that choice 2, because choice 2 doesn't exist. Yes. Choice. Oh, wait. There it is. That's the problem. Choice 1 doesn't have a closed end if. There we go. And hopefully that doesn't cause any problems. It shouldn't. Choice 3, and with choice 4. Okay. And this one goes all the way up here. Okay. that should be good. Now comes the fun of finding all of these map markers, which shouldn't be too difficult. But I'm going to save, because if there's one place for Creation Kit to crash, this is the place, because I'm going to be loading a lot of cells. Something else that Pharaoh's Pearl is going to do is, if you, for whatever reason, didn't choose to if you get the Triforce and didn't wish to release the Hero Shade, Pharaoh's Pearl will allow you to do that if you return it to Pharaoh's Shrine. So you find it somewhere else other than Pharaoh's Shrine. If you return it to Pharaoh's Shrine, then you get a blessing, little boon, and you can also have the option of releasing the Hero Shade. And Pharaoh's Pearl, no, Nehru's Pearl, all 3 Moon Pearls, if you return them to their shrines, then you will get a little blessing, really minor gratitude blessing that fortifies like 10% of your different skills. And yeah, that you can use Pharaoh's Wind and Pharaoh's Pearl to save yourself from a nasty fight, similar to Hylia's Denial. And as for the Mirror Shield from Link's Awakening, it is going to be in 6.5, and I can show it to you while we're waiting for Creation Kit to save. I'm calling it the Mirror Shield of the Tower. Ashes, Armor, where's Armor? Hylian, Ancient? No, it's not an Ancient, it's Heater. Mirror Shield of the Tower. Here it is. Boop. There's the Link's Awakening Mirror Shield. I actually made this live in a previous live stream, or most of it was live. I forget where I put it. I also forget where I put the Solstheim Secret Grotto, so I'm going to check on that for my own reference. I briefly entertained the thought of making the mirror shields that you pick up weaker by default and you have to improve them, but I actually implemented it with the Mirror Shield of the Great Sea, and then I was like, you know what, that's kind of, what's the point of that? It just adds an extra step that's kind of pointless, so I removed that, so there's no reason to worry about the Mirror Shields losing power in the next update. I want to add a fortified Mirror Shield of the Well because it's the weakest Mirror Shield, and I want to add a version of it that allows you to make it heavy armor and make it on par with the other ones. But I want it to be based on the artwork from Majora's Mask 3D. The Solstheim Secret Grotto is not in 6.5. I mean, it is in 6.5. It's not in 6.4. See what else. Whoops, I didn't want to do that. I'm just looking for other things that I want to show off. The Rocks Cape is going to get a new texture to make it look a little more Skyrim rather than a beach towel. I darkened it a little and made it a little bit more distinct and stylized. And of course the Green Knight, the Green Knight will have some armor in 6.5. It's actually already in the mod, but it's not accessible. And the Green Knight will have a factor in the lore. And of course I made scissor beetle weapons and scissor beetle shields using chitin and stuff for 6.5. Oh, there's something. The Shield of Antiquity from Phantom Hourglass, or yeah, Phantom Hourglass. That's going to be in 6.5, Shield of Antiquity, and you'll also get the Outset Shield, which is the starting shield from Wind Waker. It's also in 6.5, and what I'm calling the Spirit Shield, which is the shield from Spirit Tracks, which is also in 6.5. They all turned out really well. Oh, okay, Creation Kit's finished saving. And I'm gonna look for a Secret Grotto on Solstheim first, simply because I want to know where it is. Beach towels of two. Vitrianov is already, yeah, Vitrianov is in the mod already. It's where you get the Phantom Blade. So it's been in the mod for a while. And the red shield from Link to the Past is in the mod. The Hylian Steel ingot is something that I'm going to get rid of. It was an idea I had that I don't really like anymore. But I'll leave it sort of. I'll leave the data in there in case I do decide to use something with it, but it's not going to be a thing. There's the soul. That's what the Solstheim Secret Grotto looks like. And if I remember correctly, it's also where you get the Mirror Shield of the Tower. That's what I thought. Okay. So yeah, the Solstheim Secret Grotto is where the Mirror Shield from Link's Awakening is. And I'm going to look at the map marker for this thing. There's going to be at least 3 Minish dungeons in 6.5. They're all going to be cool. I'm thinking of adding a 4th that'll be all underwater and maybe upside down. But that's not a guarantee, because I have a lot of other stuff that I need to do. So it's if I finish all of this stuff that I want to do before the end of May, then I'll add a 4th Minish dungeon. Creation kit. The Goddess Sword, yes. The Goddess Sword, when you find the Goddess Sword, it will be... You can upgrade it to the Goddess Longsword, and then the Goddess White Sword, but not the Master Sword. The Goddess Sword is going to be separate in Relics of Hyrule, but you will be able to upgrade it to the true Goddess Sword, which will be equal in strength to the Master Sword, and will have its own special thing that it can do. That's actually an interesting... both of those, exploring a house, full-length Minish dungeon, that might be an interesting idea. Or it is an interesting idea. Full length, because the ones that exist so far are the 3, they're just in containers. There's 2 in chests and 1 in a strong box, so they're all just one cell. They wouldn't be like replications of ones from the Minish Cap, but I could make one that's like in a house that somehow got caught in the, because the idea is these containers that house the Minish dungeons were sort of trapped by the Minish to prevent people from getting inside, and so something happened and someone sprung the trap, and so the Minish dungeons activated. So it could be that I could have a container in a house and the curse went sort of awry and took the entire house instead of just the container. So I could do that. That might be something to try. I think Creation Kit just crashed, because it doesn't normally take this long to load a cell. Yeah, I think it just crashed. It was going strong for about an hour and a half, which is good. But as soon as it starts having to load cells, then bad things happen. So I'm going to have to restart Creation Kit. Genies, however you pronounce it, are not in the mod. I might add them. But we will see. And actually, they're from Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons, aren't they? Or they're in Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons, if I remember correctly. And 6.6 is the Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons update, so if there's an update that they'll appear in, chances are it will be 6.6. Alright, Creation Kit, there you go. And Gibdos are in the mod. In fact, in 6.5, you'll be able to fight 2 Gibdo Knights in Rage, the Earth dungeon of the Ruptured Towers. And there's also another enemy in Rage that I think people are really going to... they're going to be surprised by. In fact, there's 2 enemies in Rage that people will be surprised by. Here, Zelda Wiki. The Genie are in several games. They are in the original Legend of Zelda, but they are also in Link's Awakening, Oracle of Seasons / Ages, Four Swords Adventures, Minish Cap, Link Between Worlds, and Triforce Heroes. So, we're both correct. And they're in the Philips CDI games. At the risk of sounding rude, the fact that the Stalfos night fight was frustrating is good, because it makes you strategize. There's a couple enemy. The boss of Rage is going to be resistant to magic. And immune to magic, and the boss of Crisis, the Wind Tower, is going to be heavily resistant to physical weapons and will be weak to magic, so that's another thing that you'll have to strategize with. And bomb arrows are things that people suggest every so often. People suggest bomb arrows every so often, but the fire arrows in Relics of Hyrule function almost identically to bomb arrows. So if I wanted to add bomb arrows, I have to change what the fire arrows do in order to accommodate them. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to change how the fire arrows work in Relics of Hyrule. I will be adding shock arrows, though. Probably either in 6.6 or in one of the 6.5x updates, like 6.51 or 2, because the shock arrows are unique enough. So everything that's in Relics of Hyrule has to have another purpose other than novelty. So if I added Slaughterfish bombs, it would be to allow you to fight things underwater, because they could be useful in that sense. So I actually will write that down, but it won't be a joke, because there's only room for a few jokes in Relics of Hyrule. Ancient arrows, that will very likely happen in 6.7. And Lizalfos weapons, I don't know. I'm not going to say yes, I'm not going to say no. They could be retextured Dragonbone weapons, but I don't want to say yes or no yet, because that's Breath of the Wild content, and I don't want to think about that until 6.7. This is okay. I am going to make sure that the Pharaoh's Pearl spell is as it should be. That's not what I want at all. Pearl Pharaoh. There. I did not know that ash hoppers and tektites could be killed by unrelenting force. That's interesting. There's already an E2. No. Let's do... No. Oh, let's do O2. O2, and Q, Q10, and that will be Oh, yep, that's great. Thank you, creation kit. Yeah, creation kit. So many things are happening in creation kit. Yeah, oh wow, creation kit. Let's see here. Two. Two. Boom. And Q10. OPQ. 1, 2, 3, 10. Queued. Boom. Done. Save. The all the quotes are on the Relics of Hyrule wiki, um, so we can see if it's in there. There's over 100 quotes. So this is the wiki page for the Kakariko Graveyard. The user submitted ones are A1, A6, A11, C18, D16. The name was user submitted for E1. D16, oh, I already mentioned D16. I9 was user submitted. J5 was user submitted. Doesn't look like it made it in. Come on, creation kit. Ah, there we go, finally. Okay. Now hopefully the game doesn't crash, the tool doesn't crash again. So I really want to, keep working. There we go. That's a good sign, usually. Hopefully. I can hear my computer processing it, so hopefully it'll load it eventually. There we go. Okay. It is near a fallen tree. Near. Oh, it's near Thirskmead Hall, it looks like. Oh no. Yeah, that's near Thirskmead Hall. Okay. Now you know. Error. Please. Oh, secret access. Deep. Boop. There. Next up. I am all for the Tingle outfit in Breath of the Wild, but it will not be in Relics of Hyrule, I can tell you that. I'm really excited for what they're doing with the DLC I think the Tingle outfit is hilarious. And I think the Majora's Mask is brilliant. And the Korok mask is really useful. But yeah, Tingle outfit not going to be in Relics of Hyrule. If I'll be able, once this loads, I wonder if I'll be able to modify the render window properties so that it doesn't take so long. It doesn't need to be rendering every single little thing. The Phantom's armor is, they just wear steel plate currently. I was playing around with the idea of giving giving the Phantoms unique armor that you can loot off of their corpses, and I'll still think about that. It might be in one of the 6.5x updates, or the 6.6, or the 6.7, or the 6.8. But currently, Phantom's armor is not in Relics of Hyrule. Swords are, but not the armor. And yeah, Korok's not gonna happen. There's going to be a ton of Breath of the Wild stuff in 6.7, including some things that are pretty unique to Breath of the Wild. But that's going to be months from now. There will still be some little bits of Breath of the Wild content in 6.5x and 6.6 and things like that. But 6.7 will be nothing but, pretty much nothing but Breath of the Wild. Oh, come on. What are you doing, Creation Kit? Why does it take you so long to do these simple things? I want to be patient with it. I don't want to close it forcefully. Yeah, creation kit is like a snail on a stick. I mean, the DLC Breath of the Wild items are potentially canon. And I still haven't looked very closely at them. But, maybe stuff from the DLC. I can hear it doing things. Unfortunately, a wearable fuse shadow is not going to happen. I can confirm that with 100% certainty. Guess that's where all the Relics of Hyrule textures went. The fused shadow might find its way into the mod, but it's not going to be wearable. It'll just be an artifact, if I add it at all. Something I'm gonna try while this is loading is gonna try making a custom drawbridge thing. The fuse shadow. The reason why I don't want to make the fuse shadow wearable is it's like I don't know. The short answer is I just don't. Um, it's very difficult to make things wearable, especially custom models. I don't know how to do it. I would need to recruit somebody else to help. Um, and I don't know anything about doing that. And I also just don't like the idea of having such an artifact be I mean, it's like Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask is wearable, yeah, but I don't know. I'm not huge on the idea of having the fuse shadow in the mod at all. And plus, it's open at the top, which would cause real problems with hair. Um, so I think it would just be better to either not have it in the mod at all or not make it wearable. Oh, yep. Stupid creation kit. It's held together with goat cheese and spackle. I barely did anything in it. I think I'm gonna do that off, not record that because it's not worth it. I'm gonna see if this can be done. I want to see if I can make this thing. That's exactly not what I wanted. The other way. Yeah, I don't want to open another. Whoops! I don't want to open another can of worms like I did with the hats. The hats, like, I used to get so many comments from people complaining about the hair and the hats and how their hair didn't work with the hats and the hats made them bald, and I just don't want to open that can of worms again with something else. Oh, this looks like it'll work. Nice. Very nice. Alright. Don't know how useful that will be, but it's a thing. It's a thing in progress. I'm not gonna. I think I'm just gonna call the stream because A, it's dinner time, and B, creation kit's just not cooperating. So I'm going to do that finishing up of Pharaoh's Pearl off recording, and then I might be back tomorrow with another stream. I may not. We'll see. I'll announce it on Twitter. If I am, I'll probably also mention if I'm not. I'll mention it by 3 o'clock if I am or not. But we'll see. So thank you for stopping by. No, it doesn't work. You can't do that in. You're assuming that NifSkope functions the same way as any other program. It doesn't work that way. I had to do it bit by bit. There's no way to resize it the way that I was doing it without... I can resize the whole thing like this. That will resize the whole thing, but I wanted it to be skinny and squat. I can't do it all at once like that. That's not how NifSkope works. But anyway, thank you for coming. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you some other time.